to be a situation where the woman is in order. Now that has to be a situation where the woman is in order, not out there cussing, jumping up in men's face, screaming and hollering, acting a fool, trying to act like she a man. And then when some other man deal with her like she a man, then she want you to jump in and save her. It don't work like that.
It doesn't.
It don't work like that.
It absolutely doesn't.
And you have to be careful. Black women will book a fight for you and walk away.
Ultimately senseless.
An argument over an order of French fries sparked a serious fight, according to police. A 23-year-old McDonald's employee is now in the hospital, fighting for his life, while a 20-year-old man is now behind bars, potentially for the rest of his life.
It's sad that you think you go to work to get shot and hurt. You know, it's your place of comfort.
Police in Brooklyn arrested and charged Michael Morgan with attempted murder for shooting the victim in the neck. His girlfriend has also been charged because officers say she was the one who handed Morgan the gun. Things got heated at this casual Bed-Stuy fast food restaurant Monday evening around 7 o'clock, according to police.
Yeah, LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. All right, so today we're going to get into these two reactions from the Pink Book Lessons. Shout out to the Pink Book Lessons YouTube channel. First, we're going to show the news, the news report that we got. I can't do this. Pix 4 News, where they give you the generic report, not the actual insight and the details provided by the Pink Book Lessons, because on the surface it seems like something else. If y'all heard how that was reported prior to me getting on the camera speaking, because I played that clip a little bit before I started, but they framed this incident completely different than it actually is. So the Pink Book Lessons provides some insights, some context to the stories that we're about to get into, and it's black men being led by black women to their deletion, whether it be their mother, their sister dealing with some baby mama drama. These cases that we're about to go into is a bunch of niggas being led by a bunch of women. These niggas are not assessing the situation properly. They're not being accountable for their own lives because they're putting their lives at risk. Men will go into their innate defense mode of women, especially the women that they that are important to them, whether it be their family members or the women that they're seeing, and they run into some of these situations being led by them, by their emotions, and not assessing the situations that end up putting their life at risk or putting their freedom at risk. And we're going to get into them in these situations right here. So this guy that actually killed he shot. Let's get into this. Let's get to the details.
Officers say she was the one who handed Morgan the gun. Things got heated at this casual Bed-Stuy fast food restaurant Monday evening around 7 o'clock, according to police, when Morgan's mother wasn't happy with the food she ordered. That turned into an argument between her and McDonald's employees. As the disagreement escalated, Morgan got involved, and things eventually moved outside. That's where police say Morgan's girlfriend gave him a gun. He pointed it at an employee.
All right, do you see how this is being reported? The Pink Book Lessons give some further insight, but I'm going to correct it real quick right here. What he says right here is incorrect.
As the disagreement escalated, Morgan got involved, and things eventually moved outside.
Now, it's not factually incorrect, because as the situation escalated, the son did get involved. But these are the components that they're missing in the story right here. It was a mother. The woman came in to get some McDonald's. They gave her cold fries. She left the store, came back in like, yo, you guys gave me cold fries. I want cold fries. She got new fries. They were still cold. And she's like, okay, what's going on here? The people behind the counter were allegedly laughing. One guy was giving her a hard time. She called her son because she wanted her son to go do something. And then he came, told one of the employees to come outside, ended up shooting him. Now he's going to jail. The other guys in the hospital are potentially dead. We're going to get into the details in the story. But they leave out that component because in the news story, and the way it's reported as if he was in the McDonald's, an incident hit off, something happened, and the nigga just snapped and killed him like that. It wasn't like that. He was called by his mother. His irresponsible, negligent mother called him to handle a situation, knowing this nigga has 13 past priors and he's been to jail plenty of times at this young age of 21. Let's get into this.
where police say Morgan's girlfriend gave him a gun. He pointed it at an employee and fired.
It's just all on.
Yo, so I deal with some problems right now while I'm on the screen, so I'm just going to pop off the screen and just leave this in the background. Same show, same shit.
People just wanting to prove themselves, and it's just an unfortunate situation. It's definitely sad. You know, my heart goes out to the kid.
The McDonald's employee was rushed to a hospital in critical condition. Police caught Morgan as he was fleeing.
It's a lose-lose, you know what I mean? And 2 lives is gone for what? For a senseless moment, french fries?
Interestingly, after questioning Morgan, police tell us they were also able to charge him with murder in a separate incident where he was suspected in shooting and killing a man in 2020 in Brooklyn.
What?
Neighbors tell us they're sickened by this violent crime and others like them that keep on happening.
People don't have patience, they don't. And everything is, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to stab you, I'm going to kill you. No more talking. Everybody's losing here.
40-year-old Lisa Fullmore says that she was at a McDonald's located at 1531 Fulton Street in Bed-Stuy on Monday, August 1st, 2022, around 7 o'clock in the evening. She complained to one of the employees that her fries were cold and told the female employee to give her another set of fries. Lisa told reporters that about 10 seconds later, the female worker returned with what she assumed was a fresh batch of hot fries, and she proceeded to walk out of the restaurant. While outside, though, she realized that the new bag of fries happened to be cold just like the old bag of fries. So Lisa, she turned back around, went back into the restaurant, and confronted the same female employee, asking her, "Why would you give me the same fries and just put 1 or 2 on top to make me think that you gave me new fries?" According to Lisa, the unidentified female and all her co-workers started laughing at her. That's when Lisa says a male employee who was laughing at her picked on her for having food in her teeth. The male employee was identified.
Now, I'm going to stop it here real quick and we're going to get right back into it. But this guy, he's the one that ended up getting shot. He's an absolute idiot. All these employees are absolute idiots. This was a completely avoidable situation, but niggas wanted to be stupid, including the mother who ended up calling her son because she didn't know how to handle the situation. Let's get it. Oh, what's good? Our problems, our solutions.
As 23-year-old Matthew Webb. At this point, Lisa was highly aggravated. Not only did they give her cold fries, but they did it twice, and now they're all laughing at her about it. She was angry that she had to come back to the restaurant in the first place, and now they're humiliating her, laughing in her face. So Lisa, she demanded to speak with the manager. The young workers told her that their supervisor had stepped out, which sparked another round of laughter.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
So at this point, you know the lady's really mad. There's no manager. There's a bunch of negligent little kids just acting the damn fool. And they're not giving her the proper fries. It's easy just to get a new batch of fries. To giving her a hard time. She could have at least at this point tried to call the police. If they're not giving you a manager and they're trying to rip you off of your money, call the police. Do not get your son involved and put him in the line of fire. Let's get into this.
Lisa was 38 hot. She had it up to here, so she pulled out her cell phone to call for backup. She made a FaceTime call to her 20-year-old son, Michael Morgan. Now, these are all Lisa's words. The 40-year-old mother said, "This is when I was on the phone with my son. I was like, they in this McDonald's playing with me. I got kids their age. I'm not going to sit here and keep arguing with these little kids." Lisa says she urged her son not to come to the restaurant, saying, quote, "I don't want you to get in trouble."
I'm sorry. I'll put it back real quick. Right there. But
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
So why would you call him, FaceTime him to show him the incident, and then tell him not to come when he's trying to protect his mother at that point? You're leading him into some fuck shit, clearly. Let's get back into it, though. I'm going to let it play for a bit.
Their age. I'm not going to sit here and keep arguing with these little kids. Lisa says she urged her son not to come to the restaurant, saying, quote, "I don't want you to get in trouble." But while Lisa was on FaceTime with her 20-year-old son, Michael, she showed him the McDonald's employee who picked on her for having food in her teeth. That was Matthew. Lisa's son showed up. He got into an argument with Matthew, and then he told Matthew to come outside with him. According to Lisa's version of events, she said her son left the store, so she thought the dispute was over. But about 10 minutes later, Matthew approached her looking for her son. Lisa said she told him her son had left the restaurant and to mind his business. That's when she said that Matthew went looking for her son, and about 10 minutes later, Lisa heard a gunshot. She said, "I looked and I seen a boy on the ground, and then I saw my son running the other way. I called 911 and then I sat there and waited." Lisa then suggested to the news.
That's atrocious. Hold on, y'all. My bad. Let me get off screen. Let me just talk off screen because this is pretty bad.
She said, "I looked and I seen a boy on the ground, and then I saw my son running the other way. I called 911 and then I sat there and waited." Lisa then suggested to the newspaper that Matthew, the McDonald's employee, was hiding a gun under his shirt. But according to the police, they found no evidence that indicated that the employee had a gun. So that part of Lisa's claim is not believed to be true. Now, you have a bunch of witnesses around, and they're saying that after Lisa's son Michael came into the restaurant and confronted Matthew, the argument moved from inside to outside. Michael was able to get Matthew to come outside. That's when witnesses say he pulled out a gun and shot him in the neck. The employees saw all of it, and they instantly went from laughing to screaming and crying. All of them pulled out their phones and stood close over Matthew. Fortunately, a man stepped in to help and do something. He took off his shirt and put it on Matthew's neck to try to limit the bleeding. At that time, witnesses say that Matthew's right eye was swollen shut. He couldn't talk, he was shaking, his chest heaving, and he was still breathing when the ambulance showed up and put him on a stretcher. At the time of this video, Matthew remains in extremely critical condition at Brookdale Hospital in Brooklyn. His poor mother, she said that she can't sleep. She's been at the hospital by her son's side the whole time. She said that she's not in a good mental state right now. She can't think, and she's just not ready for her son to go. She's not ready. Matthew's mother said that she wished she had more family support, and she was able to find a pastor at the hospital to pray for him. Remember, Lisa said that she told her son not to come down there, but he showed up anyway, even admitting that her son told Matthew to come outside? Well, now in her son's defense, Lisa told reporters there was no reason for Matthew to come outside, so what happened outside, you caused that to happen.
Now, this lady is being unaccountable as fuck. So she's saying because the McDonald's worker had no reason to come outside, which he didn't, the McDonald's worker was stupid. You called your son to go deal with the situation. The McDonald's worker came outside acting stupid, buffing up his chest, basic niggatry, and he ended up getting clapped because of that. This is all avoidable situations, all because the woman got cold fries and she didn't want to accept it, which it is her right to try to get new fries. And these McDonald's workers were being, petulant children. But you don't call your son who has a temper, who has a past rap sheet, and then get him involved in this shit and lead him to now serving how many years in jail while this kid is he's in critical condition. And she's being unaccountable. Like, well, you came outside. You should have known what would have happened. It's like you're escalating the situation as a grown-ass adult.
She's talking about Matthew, the McDonald's employee, causing his own condition by going outside. Come outside. So what happened outside, you caused that to happen. She's talking about Matthew, the McDonald's employee, causing his own condition by going outside. So what happened outside, son told Matthew to come outside? Well, now in her son's defense, Lisa told reporters there was no reason for Matthew to come outside. So what happened outside, you caused that to happen. She's talking about Matthew, the McDonald's employee, causing his own condition by going outside. Now, Matthew, he did not have a criminal record, but Lisa's son, Michael, he's been arrested 13 times prior to this recent incident.
You hear that, y'all? This nigga has been arrested 13 times prior. His mother damn well knew that he had a rap sheet and he had a lack of conflict resolution skills. And she escalated the conflict furthermore when dealing with children. They were laughing at her. They're clowning her. I don't know why they were doing that shit. They're employees. They're not respecting their brand. They're not respecting their job. There was no manager in sight, which was also weird. But she's standing there feeling like,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
so she calls her son, and look what happens. And he was led by his mother in that situation to do some fuckery. But this nigga is a dumbass, and you got to be accountable as a man to not be led by women in these emotional situations and not be led by your dumbass, anger issues where you're bringing the strap over some McDonald's. You know what I mean? It's just, it's ridiculous.
Police arrested him and he was charged with attempted murder and criminal possession of a weapon. A second arrest was also made in connection with the case. His 18-year-old girlfriend, Camelia Dunlap. She was charged with 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. According to police, it was his girlfriend who handed him the gun before he opened fire. Camelia's grandmother, Miss Deborah Dunlap, says the employees should have given Lisa hot fries and Matthew shouldn't have gone outside, but she's hoping he survives. The grandmother told reporters that her granddaughter she's been dating
Also, this is the granddaughter or the grandmother of the woman, or his girlfriend that got arrested, and she's also being unaccountable as fuck. She said, yeah, they should have served her warm fries. And he said she's also saying the man should have never went outside. Yeah, but that doesn't give the son the right to come clap him at the McDonald's over some fries. You can't be ultimately unaccountable for the incident that caused the results that we're getting right now.
Michael for 3 years, but she has a 2-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. So Camelia, she had a baby at 16 years old from another guy, and she had been dating Michael a year before the baby was born. The grandmother went on to say this about Michael. She said, he was not that good of a person. I tried to tell her to stay away from him, but she wouldn't listen. She really not a bad person. She just got with the wrong person. Meanwhile, Camelia's father, Mr. Kenyon Dunlap, who's also 40 years old, he was described by the New York Post as unsympathetic to his daughter's situation. That's what the writer wrote. He told reporters, she has to learn her lesson. She's 18. She don't listen to me. I'm going to let her learn her lesson as she goes along in life. Those stern words coming from the father of the woman who handed the gun to Michael that he used on Matthew. 2 days later, a shocking update to the story was released. Authorities revealing that hours after they arrested Michael, they also charged him in connection with another case from 2020 where a 28-year-old man, Kevin Holloman, was taken out. Detectives say that the recent incident led to the interrogation that gave them the additional evidence that they needed to arrest Michael in connection with the 2020 incident, saying that that victim in that case, he lost his life in front of a building in Bed-Stuy. Coincidentally, that building not too far from the McDonald's where Michael got into the dispute with Matthew. Michael was spotted walking out of the 79th precinct on Wednesday, August 3rd, escorted by officers. And while there, the media ran into 3 supporters waiting there to greet him. They told reporters that Michael was innocent and will soon be out on bail. One of the supporters said, if somebody attacks someone's mom, then what do you expect? I mean, it's just so much to unpack here. First, to those supporters of Michael Morgan standing outside the precinct, nobody attacked his mother. Lisa was not in physical danger. She was angry, taunted, and possibly embarrassed, yes, but no one physically touched her. So Michael going up there to get physical, telling people to catch him outside, he was doing too much. He got sent on that mission when his mama called him in the first place. Then she's up here trying to defend her Pookie son, who's been arrested over 13 times now, and then allegedly confessed to detectives that he was responsible for another man's life less than 2 years ago. There's no telling who else he's taken out.
And what she said right there was absolute facts. What she said, he was sent on a defense mission from the jump. That's why he was there. That's facts. When his mother made the call, she sent him on a defense mission, and she knew exactly who he was and exactly what he was capable of, and he brought the smoke. His mother set him up for failure. That's some terrible parenting. That's what we see so much. People always want to talk about these things in the hood and just try to demonize all hood niggas and everybody that comes from the hood, but they don't look at that, they don't really actually dive into the situations and look at the complexities that surround these people and what's actually leading to these situations and these violent scenarios. A lot of these dumbass niggas is being led by their dumbass mothers or their stupid ass sisters, which we're going to see in this next situation. Yo, honestly, this is bad. This next one is way worse, though. Way worse. Let's get it. Hopefully I can stay on screen with this shit, because this shit has been lagging like a bitch.
And while defending her son by coming up with this whole story of self-defense, Lisa, she's also trying to remove herself from any accountability whatsoever. That's why she said, I told him not to come up here because I didn't want him to get in trouble. Like the whole...
Once again, that's facts. She was being unaccountable as fuck. Oh, I told him not to come up here. Then why did you make the call? Then make it a FaceTime so he can see the surroundings and see the people clowning you. Why would you do all of that? You're doing the most. Trying to be unaccountable at every corner. Whoops, wrong screen, nigga. Shit.
The whole situation was just between Michael and Matthew. I'm telling you, she knew exactly what she was doing whenever she called her son husband and told him basically put your shoes on. Y'all know what time it is. Lisa, you unofficially gave him marching orders to come and fight for you because you really wanted to put paws on them kids yourself. You didn't want to risk getting in trouble, so you called your son to handle.
She didn't want to risk getting in trouble, didn't want to risk her freedom, so she called her son in place to do it because her son's an idiot and a hothead, and he's willing to do that. This is what I'm talking about. This whole thing is about women leading men into their own deletion, but that's the problem. You as a man, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be leading yourself. You're not supposed to be following the lead of an emotional woman in these situations where she doesn't have to deal with the ramifications and the repercussions in your life. You actually have to deal with them. You have to be accountable. So when you have to be accountable, why would you let somebody else take the lead on something like that? As a grown-ass man. He's a young man, but negligent parenting, atrocious. Let's get into this.
Now, I understand why she was upset. I agree with Lisa's reason for being upset 100%. She had every right to be angry about her order. I was with her on that part, but it shouldn't have escalated. I think Grandma Dunlap said it best. She explained that when you go to the restaurant and pay for food, you want to get what you pay for.
Yep.
Cold fries are worthless.
Yep.
Might as well throw them out.
Yep.
You can't warm them up. It's just over. It's a waste of money. And Camelia's grandmother, she said that the workers should have given her fresh fries. I agree. This would have been solved right there. She also said that Lisa should have requested a refund and gave the food back. And if she couldn't resolve that part, call the cops to intervene.
Yep.
So yeah, I definitely agree with Miss Deborah on that. I also believe that she was being truthful, especially when she said that she told her granddaughter to leave Michael alone, but she wouldn't. Her father basically said the same thing. He's been trying to straighten his daughter, but she won't listen to him. So no, I don't feel sorry for Camelia or Michael. And I don't think the father was being unsympathetic to his daughter, like the writers of the article said right here. I think her father was only trying to hold his daughter accountable for her actions.
From the father's statements, it seems like that father absolutely gave up. He could not hold his daughter accountable at all. His parenting was not working, and he's just like, fuck it. He foreseen this coming because of her behavior, and then when it happened, he's ultimately like, you got to be accountable now. You put yourself in that situation to hold a strap to hand it off to this nigga. Like, why is your fingerprints on the strap? Yeah, you're dating a hood nigga. Why do you have to get involved in the activities? But even still, she shouldn't have been dating him. The grandmother was right. Gotta leave these motherfuckers alone. The problem is, and everybody from the hood knows this type of behavior, this shit is rewarded. You don't lose any girls off of this shit. And that's why it persists. If you were losing all the girls and girls were holding out completely, the niggas would probably change their activities a little bit. Being a goon is you get status off that shit. And that's a problem in our community. That's not spoken up about enough. But let's get into this.
As far as Matthew, unfortunately,
Jesus Christ.
He took the bait. He had something to prove, and that's why he went outside when Michael challenged him. Instead of all those goofy employees calling the police to solve the issue that they escalated in the first place, because all they had to do was give her fresh fries. That unidentified female employee gave her cold fries again after she told them to give her fresh ones. And then all of them sitting up there laughing like some hyenas, including Matthew. They did not represent their families well. They showed they had poor home training. very disrespectful to Lisa, but this is what you get when you have a community rooted in matriarchy. There's no order, there's no respect, and you have a bunch of situations like this. Sending my prayers to Matthew's family, his mother, and I'm hoping that he's able to pull through and make a full recovery. This situation is certainly not worth someone losing their life over. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. So many lessons learned here today. Let me know what you think below. So I got this video in.
Now, shout out to the Pink Book Lessons for adding all that additional context to the story. If y'all were here in the beginning of the stream, we played the news article or the news clip, and it was very vague, a very vague breakdown, which left out a lot of components to the story that will bring it full circle for you to understand the absolute fuckery that took place in that incident. But the Pink Book Lessons added a bit of context to elevate the story. So shout out to the Pink Book Lessons. Also in this one, this one is monumental, actually. This is the reason why I'm doing this shit. This one, the news report leaves out the gender for the women, and they leave out the women's involvement in this one purposely, obviously, when you witness this one. And the Pink Book Lessons cleans this up. So let's get into this reaction right here.
It shows two men approaching the door of a house and both of them being shot by the man inside. Turns out the man who lives at the house was defending himself from a woman and her two brothers.
An apparent domestic dispute turns deadly on the city's west side. Shots fired in broad daylight, leaving one man dead and another in critical condition. It happened on Wisconsin Street, just north of Grand River on Saturday afternoon. Investigators say it started as an argument between two people, but things escalated when two family members got involved. Officers have 3 persons of interest in custody. The investigation, meantime, is ongoing.
This article right here was written by Alicia Dixon.
I'm sorry, y'all just keep mental note of how that was reported. Just keep a quick mental note. There was the two family. It started off with two people, 2 family members got involved, 3 persons, blah blah blah. I'm not even saying it right, but I'm just saying that's the verbiage you hear. Let's get into this.
She wrote, Detroit police officers were dispatched to a home in the 12,000 block of Wisconsin on Detroit's west side at approximately 1 p.m. on Saturday afternoon for reports of a shooting. By the way, this took place on July 30th. Police say the incident appears to be a domestic dispute between the resident of the home and someone who they have a child with. A person who doesn't live at the residence left the home and came back with 2 men identified as brothers of the person. The 3 people, police say, agreed to have a fist fight.
I'm sorry, y'all. I said verbiage. I meant verbiage, but gotta correct myself while I'm still here. All right. So it says a person. Yeah, man, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna let this play. My bad, y'all. I'm fucking this up.
Left the home and came back with 2 men identified as brothers of the person. The 3 people, police say, agreed to have a fist fight. The disagreement escalated after 2 people forced themselves into the residence and shots were fired. Police say 1 victim has died and 1 person is in critical condition. Both are males. 3 persons of interest have been detained. No further details are known at this time. So, of course, we have another example of how media try to cover up for women. Do you notice the absence of female pronouns or the word woman at all? The word woman was not used once in this article. She wrote men, brothers, male, but left out woman, she, or her, when it was the woman who instigated this whole situation. At first, I'm thinking this must be one of those they, them people. But when the male gender is listed and the female omitted, I'm like, wait, I see what's going on here. Like right here, a person who doesn't live at the residence left the home and came back with 2 men, identified as brothers of the person.
Now you can clearly see they went out of their way to omit the female gender in that specific right here. Yeah, person when you say two men and the other thing and identified as brothers. So you clearly put their gender here and you clearly omit this person, brothers of the persons. So what you're trying to hide exactly what happened. You're trying to hide the fact that this woman escalated the situation and brought these guys and led them to getting clapped, both of her brothers, by her baby father. This is horrible.
Brothers of the person. Person is used here instead of woman. Not only was it a woman who didn't live at the residence who left the house and came back with her two brothers, that's the woman who got these two guys to lay their lives down for, getting involved in some BS. And now one is gone and the other, we're not sure yet if he's going to survive or not.
Now, as a man, I said it before, your innate defense mode ability comes in to try to protect your wife, your mother, your sister, whoever, whatever woman in your life that you need to protect. Your innate sense as a man to come in and defend kicks in. But you can't be a goddamn idiot and let these women lead you to your death or to be sentenced in jail by doing some stupid fuck shit like this. Like, what do you think? You're going to approach somebody's house and because there's two of you, you're just going to stomp them out or something? Like, yo, let's get back into this before I do my breakdown and wrap this up.
A woman is in the middle of this tragedy, yet the term woman is not even used in the whole story. She's a direct link between all the men involved. She's connected to the two men, her two brothers, and the one man who lived at the residence, her baby's daddy. You see, this is how women will do dirt and other women in media cover for them. Honestly, the way this story was presented to the good folks of Detroit, you would think it was just a bunch of men that got together and decided to have a shootout. Nah. The lady was at her baby daddy's house. They started arguing over something, not sure what that was or who initiated it. She left the house, stomping off, saying that she was going to call her brothers. Her two brothers. She gave them a version of the story of whatever happened, and those guys followed her over there to the house to defend their sister. They obviously don't live there. They went on another person's property, and then that man had two options. Get jumped by her brothers and fight them. You know, basically figure out how he's going to fight all three of them, because all three can jump on him. Or he could pick up his weapon and use it. Unfortunately for those brothers, he chose the latter. So to me, with this much information, it sounds like self-defense. But what you can't do is run up on somebody else's property and think that you're going to battle them on their own turf, coming at them physically, like he's supposed to just stand there and let y'all get at him.
This is insane that you even have to say that to people for them to even understand that you can't just enforce your will on somebody without them defending themselves at their own home. Like, that nigga was like, really? You're going to bring your two brothers because we have a dispute right now between us? He's like,
I'm about to add it hoe out.
The man wasn't having it. That is definitely self-defense. You're in your own house and these guys come bringing physical violence towards you. But the way the news reported it, juxtaposed with the Pink Book lessons, you would have a completely different picture of what happened in your mind. A completely different picture of what happened in your mind listening to the news and their report omitting all of the spots where they could say woman or girl by putting persons followed by men and brothers.
According to the article, she says that 3 people have been detained. Not sure who those 3 people are. Is one of them the baby daddy or not? But it's really a shame how women continue to set up men, they escalate situations, and next thing you know, all men involved are either in a ditch or behind bars, and then the woman, she's able to just wander off and continue her.
Because Yo Fam said something so great in the comment section, right after this is done in 2 minutes, I'm going to let y'all know something real quick. I'm going to provide some insight to some fuckery that in America, y'all have no idea what's going on in Canada in regards to this, but hold on, y'all. Let's wrap this up first.
Her toxic life, finding other people to wreak havoc on.
Oops.
Men usually they're in a ditch or behind bars, and then the woman, she's able to just wander off and continue her toxic life, finding other people to wreak havoc on. Men usually lose their lives over women. They're trained from a young age to put your shoes on.
Yep.
People expecting for men to be ready to put their shoes on for mama, girlfriends, sisters, everybody. All these women who are also disrespectful and have nothing but contempt for men. You know, the ones who say that men are useless until they need them to risk their freedom or their lives to protect them from something.
Yep.
You have got to be ready at any time. Don't ask any questions. Just put your shoes on. Like, what's up with that? And then after you put your shoes on and end up wherever you end up, she's able to walk away from all accountability. They're protecting her so much in this story, they won't even say her gender.
That's crazy.
Up here talking about he had a baby with the person or the person brought their brothers over. If it's like that, why not just say the persons didn't just bring the other persons over to come fight the person who lived at the house? One person passed away, another person at the hospital, and any other person who isn't hurt, they're in jail with the other persons. Because personally, all this, we're not going to say the gender, but we'll say one gender. Yeah, something isn't right about that. All I gotta say is this. Fellas, please stop letting these women sign you up for battles. Don't put on the shoes without assessing the situation first. If you're about to possibly put your life on the line, you have the right to ask questions. What do you do to start all this crap? What's your role in it? A lot of y'all just running into fire. Who knows? Maybe her brothers have kids in their own families, but they just got taken out by their sister's baby daddy. You just have to use better judgment. You can't go around allowing emotional and toxic women to rile you up to lose your life over nothing. It could simply be her feelings got hurt, and that'll cause a whole war between men. I mean, look at this situation right here. One of her brothers gone right there on the spot. And then the other one in the hospital clinging on, sending prayers to him because we don't even know if he's gonna make it. She booked her two brothers for this fight, and of course, in this video, you can see where she ran away. Go ahead and check out the video for yourself. Click the link below to watch the video, and then let me know what you think about this. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started.
Now, with that being said, remember the beginning.
It has to be a situation where the woman is in order, not out there cussing, jumping up in men's face, screaming and hollering, acting a fool, trying to act like she a man, and then when some other man deal with her like she a man, then she want you to jump in and save her. It don't work like that.
It doesn't.
It don't work like that.
It absolutely
No,
doesn't.
and you have to be careful, because black women will book a fight for you and walk away.
Ultimately, since.
And what did we see happen in those two cases? We seen black women book a fight for you and ultimately walk away. We had the mother say, I told him not to come. And then the sister ultimately got her two brothers killed. The baby father's escaping charges because, you know, self-defense, and America, the great American country it is, or the great North American country it is, I gotta say that because I'm about to shit on Canada right now, has the Second Amendment rights. That's why you have the baby shooting niggas coming on his property, trying to break in and doing stuff like, yo, he came on my property, I don't know what he had, protecting myself, protecting my property. Y'all have that in the Constitution. Canada doesn't have that. A nigga could come in your house. They could have brought that. If that was Canada, they could have brought that same smoke to your house, and you don't have the right to shoot them because you don't even have the right to bear arms. We don't have no Second Amendment in Canada. Canada's trash in that regard. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Be hard to get a self-defense off. You have to stab somebody in a self-defense in your house and have to be proving that they were making a lethal kill or a lethal attempt, or making an attempt for a lethal blow. You have to prove all sorts of fuckery. People need to be happy with that in America because, you know, people always talk about free healthcare and shit in Canada. Canada, man, especially where we're going with Trudeau, there's a lot of things that I need to say. I'm probably going to have to break this down on an episode, though. Let's keep it a stack. What do we have here? Hold on, y'all. I have something in regards to the comment I just made. Let me pull this up. Oh, no, hell no. I don't even have that yet. My bad. I don't have that yet. It's a Trudeau clip. Trudeau, man, this yo fam said that, yeah, that dictatorship. Yep. These niggas, man. I wish I had it in front of me right now because I don't have it in memory right now to pull up exactly. because the Canadian political system is a lot different. And I wanted to show y'all exactly what the NDP did. They're the third party that kept these liberals in power for years, but I don't have the facts in front of me right now, and I'm not doing headcanon and fucking it up. But yeah, we don't have the rights to bear arms. They're stopping guns from coming into the country now. Trudeau actually, hold on, I need to pull up this article, man. This is bad. It's like they understand that they're talking about gun violence in Canada and gun violence in Toronto, the uptick and the recent uptick and blah, 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 the guns on the street, realizing that, or understanding that those niggas, the government and the police force is the reason why all the guns get on the street in the first place, because we don't have the rights to bear arms. Even hunters' weapons, there's hunters' rifles, and even as a hunter, you're not allowed to have or brandish a weapon in your house for self-defense. You're not allowed to do that even as a hunter with a registered firearm. You're not allowed to do that in Canada. Not at all. They would suggest that you call the police and hide in a corner in your crib and hope them niggas get here in 10 minutes before them niggas rob the shit out of you and splash you up. Like, it's so unrealistic in Canada. It's very unrealistic out here. But they were trying to, there was a laughable article. This has nothing to do with this. I hope this doesn't get it demonetized talking about all these straps. But Justin Trudeau was talking about buybacks of AR-15s for $1,300 for AR-15 buybacks, forcible buybacks. This is a joke. I'm going to use a piece of this. It's a joke. It's laughable. I'm going to use a piece of this segment, wrap it up in something else that I'm going to do in a upcoming episode of Blunt Talk with LT, because we're getting that podcast back going. Those episodes, we got to get that shit going back. But I need this to be a preset thing where I have all my facts in order and I'm not live on the air trying to get this on a whim when I was doing another production that had nothing to do with this. But definitely got to do a breakdown of this. This is absolutely ridiculous. The Canadian political system is a joke. An absolute joke. I got derailed, man. I got absolutely derailed. What are we talking about over here? What are we talking about? Yes, men. Stop letting these women finesse you into defense or into their defense, which ultimately leaves you dead or in jail because you're accountable for your life at the end of the day. Yeah, we back on topic.
Shout out to LTTV.
Wait, y'all have that in blue states too? See, NY and Cali, man, I don't fuck with NY at all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, New Yorkers, but your state, the laws, the NYPD, man, I do not like New York City. It's just like Canada, just like Cali. Cali, yeah, same shit. Cali has that damn near the same tax code as Canada. It's pretty bad out there as well. But it is what it is. We're going to wrap this one up. Definitely going to wrap this one up. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more on the way. Yeah.